Continue to follow breaking news out of Washington, D.C. The Trump administration deploying hundreds of troops from Fort Bragg to the Middle East as the conflict with Iran drags on.
WXI 12's Bethany Cates joins us from the North Carolina military base with a look ahead. Bethany.
More than 1,000 troops from Fort Bragg's 82nd Airborne Division will soon be headed to the Middle East after President Donald Trump approved the order. We spoke with a retired 82nd Airborne Division soldier who says he knows the emotions that are circulating throughout the base right now.
It's hard. All I can say is it's really hard.
After almost a month of constant conflict between the U.S. and Iran, President Donald Trump is deploying more U.S. troops to the Middle East, and that includes soldiers from right here with the 82nd Airborne Division at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. These soldiers are trained to parachute into hostile territory, and according to reports, the deployment was approved Monday night and is expected to include command staff and some ground forces.
Being in the 82nd Division is a fast pace pretty much. Within like 48 hours, you're pretty much out of there.
Marquise Johnson is a retired 82nd Airborne Division soldier and says deployments are something that comes with the territory, but it's always an unexpected call.
For people that's in, they know it is really fast paced. Like, you can get the word like, hey, we're finna get ready to get deployed. It could be on standby. Then you can find out, oh, well, we're leaving tomorrow. We're leaving in 2 days.
He says this time the call for his family hits a little bit harder.
We seen everything. All this stuff is on TV, and then your partner telling you, like, hey, I'm part of that too. I gotta get ready and go. You like, I want you to go, but if you're a part of this military life, then you already know what to expect.
Johnson says his message to families like this is simple.
Hold on to your loved ones as close as you can. Say you love them and stuff like that, because you never know what can happen. They may come home, they may not.
Now, this order does not include the full brigade, which includes over 3,000 troops. Coming to you from Fort Bragg, I'm Bethany Cates for WXII 12 News.
Shalom. Call Halam La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Haracha'a Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and sincerity. They steered us well, and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. This is the brother Zion Amawan coming at you with another lesson. To feed the lambs through the Holy Spirit. Haracha'a Kodash, Lord willing. This lesson is edifying and to the point. All right. In this lesson, we are going to get into DJT deploys 82nd Airborne to Iran. DJT deploys 82nd Airborne to Iran. Now, if you know anything about the 82nd Division Airborne, these guys are paratroopers, but they are an elite group of soldiers. Like, they on that Call of Duty shit for real. Like for real. Like, these are some serious dudes, man. These are elite Roman soldiers. Because technically, it's the Roman army all over again. They just got M16s and not swords. You know what I'm saying? Their swords has bullets in them now. It's still the Roman army. Because this is the revised Roman Empire. And Yahweh Shema Washai is gathering all of these troops, all right, all of these soldiers from the North Army, and he is going to gather them, all right, into the Middle East, into Iran. And like many of brothers, all right, from the elder apostles all the way on down to ourselves, all right, we have been saying for years, all right, especially the elders and the elder brothers and the elder bishops and the elder apostles, especially those brothers, you know what I'm saying, that have been doing this way longer than us. I'm talking about we was kids and in diapers when the brothers was bringing this out, and now we're adults and now we're bringing it out, so, we've been talking about it for years, man, decades, about how Iran is a big priority in World War III, all right? And Yahweh Shema Shai is using Iran as that priority in World War III, okay? Now, Iran don't have all the nukes. You got Russia, you got China, and you got to throw North Korea in as well, Because North Korea does in fact have nuclear technology and nuclear capabilities, man. You know? And the Lord is drawing Babylon the Great all the way east. All right. There should be some Navy that should be hitting Iran. I believe Friday they were saying, you know, but everything is, all these things is ramping up. All right. All of the prophecies is lining up. Everything is on time. Everything is at its appointed time. You know, now I got Isaiah 34 and verse 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. You see, so you got to come listen to the words of Yahweh Shema Shah. But how can you listen to Yahweh Shema Shah? Through his prophets. So Yahweh Shema Shah saying, come and listen to my prophets. I'm going to put the words in my prophet's mouth and they're going to tell you what's going on. All right. You know how many years the brothers been talking about this, including myself? The masses don't care. The masses keep walking. The masses are unaware. You know? They just rose up the draft age to like 42. Slovakia. To like 42. You know? So Yahweh Shema Shah is going to call a lot of people over there to die. See, a lot of those 82nd Airborne guys and everybody of that nature, you know, if you get called to World War III, you're not coming back, man. You're not. You have been called to die. None of these nations is going to win World War III. The only one that's going to win World War III is Yahweh Bashem Shah and the elect. That is who is really going to win World War III. Not some cocaine-induced soldier with an M16 shooting it over a damn sand pile. I don't think that guy's going to come back, man. The stage is being set for World War III in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. You know? This is the time of Armageddon. You know, which in the Hebrew is Amagadawan, which means multitude of troops. This is the end. You know? And the prophet's been saying it. Bringing out the prophecies. Verse 2. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. You hear that? The righteous anger of the Lord is upon all nations. Because all these nations low-key judged the tribe, you know, it's in the 12 tribes of Israel. They had us in slavery. Even the Ammonites, they had us in slavery for 18 years under heavy oppression and all that. So these nations finna get it, man. Yahweh Shema Shah gonna make his point with World War III. They're gonna be fighting each other. And then after that, Yahweh Shema Shah is gonna fight them. They're gonna be fighting each other, and they're gonna turn to Yahweh Shah, and they're gonna Slovakia, and they're gonna try to fight Yahweh Shah. Lord's will, we'll do a part 2. And his fury upon all their armies. You hear that? And he hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter. You see? See, Yahweh Shema Shah is calling all of these soldiers over there to die. You know, you're not going to come back. You even heard the guy in the video, you know, the retired 82nd Airborne guy. He was even saying that the best thing to do is say you love your loved ones. Say you love your loved ones. That was his rallying cry for that. because he's seen a lot of people die, even in 82nd Airborne. So don't think just because you are in the elite group or, yeah, my brother was a Green Beret, that don't mean shit. He ain't bulletproof. You know, he ain't Yahweh Shah that conquered death. This nigga can get his head busted wide open, man. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. Right. You know, motherfuckers got their arms blown off, chest blown off. Damn, motherfucker got hit with a 50 BMG. The top part went jelly, and then the bottom legs took 2 more steps and fell on the knees. Soldiers putting fingers in bullet holes to plug them up and put a tourniquet on arms and all that type of shit. Dead bodies laid off all over the ground, all in the Humvee flipped over. This nigga head gone in the damn car, in the damn Humvee. It's gonna be some heinous ass shit, man. Heinous. You know, war can get real heinous, man. You know, if you see a soldier that is the opposition and it's just a one-on-one, they not finna turn their back and just be like, all right, I won't pretend you didn't see you. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see you. You pretend you didn't see me. Hell no. The motherfuckers gonna gun it out. And if they run out of bullets, they gonna knife it out. It's anything goes. They'll rip your heart out and wipe their knife on it, man. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's going to get ugly. That's why we pray and hope that Yahweh Shema Shah continue to keep us in the secret place. You know? Because all these uncertain ones, all these unaware niggas and shit, they going to get drafted to World War III. See, the difference between us and them, we have Yahweh Shema Shah. They don't. They have to worry about getting drafted. The Lord gonna keep us out the way, I believe. Verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off of the vine, and as a falling fig from the tree. You see? So it's going to be missiles. It's going to be nuclear. It's going to get that. You know, like I said in like my other lesson, you know, they always up the ante with the missiles. They would start with suicide drones and cruise missiles and ballistic missiles, and they up the ante all the way up to nuclear technology. And we're at that point of nuclear technology. It's still boots on the ground, because you can't have World War III without boots on the ground. You got to have boots on the ground. If you want to facilitate a city, you have to have boots on the ground. You know, there's only so much Air Force can do. Okay, you can't take over a city with just Air Force. You have to have boots on the motherfucking ground. All right. And that is what he's doing. Sending over troops and things of that nature. He only going to send like 1,000 is what he say. I think it's going to be more than that. But he said 1,000. He probably going to wait and see how they do. And then probably go ahead and send another wave out. You know, that's just like chess, not checkers. Bishop to E4, man. All right, so Trump just did bishop to E4. And now he gonna see what black do. You know, I got verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Right? That's all of Esau. You know, all of Esau. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. You see? So all of these niggas that get called to World War III, they've been called to die, and they've been called to get judged. Point blank period, man. They have been called for judgment. they ain't gonna come back. You know, so maybe that guy was right. You, to those 2/3, you better talk to your loved ones and say you love them and buy them a pizza or some shit, because you ain't gonna see their ass when they gone, man. You know, you probably gonna get a couple FaceTimes and then get that nice little letter in the mail with that folded up Babylonian flag, all right, with a letter from a president telling you lost one. Because that's what they do. If you have because they did it for to my granddaddy. When my granddaddy passed away, whoever was in the military, if you pass away, they'll bring soldiers and all that shit to the funeral and all that. They had it, you know what I'm saying? They had it for my granddad, but my granddad didn't have no sons. He only had daughters. So I'm the first grandson. So they had to give me the letter, because it was Obama at the time. So Obama signed a letter like, I'm sorry about your loss, blah, 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 blah. And then they give you a paper, and then the soldiers will salute you, and then they'll hand you an American flag folded up in a certain way, like a triangle, man. You're going to have a lot of people that's going to get that shit. The triangle flag with a nice letter from DJT. And DJT so damn cold, he probably ain't even going to do that. He probably going to say, nigga, that's what they was supposed to do. They was supposed to die for me. You know, he's just proud like that. You know, but who knows? He may do that shit. I don't know. Or who knows, man, there may be so much death he ain't got enough flags to even sew out. Now, verse 5, it say, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon all the people of my curse to judgment. You see? So Yahweh Shema Shai is going to bring his wrath, okay, to the world. But he's going to do it in the form of World War III. All right. He's going to call these nations to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. Okay. To where they can get judged. All right. Which is the valley of, you know, it's a decision. You know. Yeah. So with that, I want to give infinite honors, praises, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and sincerity. They steered us well, and they rule well. Salutations to the hopeful elect. May the blessing of election be upon your house. We on the next one. Abaratazah. Shalom.